Good day, viewers. This is Angela from Tarot as Art, coming to you from very, very cold and wet Melbourne morning in Australia. And I've been tagged by Nova Mundi Tarot, who was Nova Luna Tarot before, in this gorgeous tag of showcasing your out of print decks. So this is my VR to that, my video response. And this could be very long. So what I've decided to do is I have a lot of out of print Rider-Waite-Smith decks. So that's going to be a separate video. I'm going to do a whole video on what my Rider-Waite-Smith collection, and I'll probably do a video on other similar collections, maybe my Thoth collection as well. I don't want to put all those decks in this video response because it's just too, I think it could do with a specialized video where I can show out of print ones and not out of print ones. So I may show one of each of those lineages in terms of this video response, just to keep it clean. I may even do a Marcier, but I don't collect a lot of those. I would like to. I'm sort of moving into that direction because you just do. Let's start with my out of print decks, or what I believe to be out of print. If I am wrong, please say something in the comments and let me know. So the first deck I have here is the Crow's Magic. And this is a beautiful deck, absolutely, from US Games. They did a magnificent job of this, I think. And the creator is Londa Marks. And it's not a deck I use a lot, I have to be honest. It's a dark deck. It's got this beautiful sort of glossy paper stock. Might give it a, and there, I mean, that's the, I love it when you get those extra cards, but they're the backs. For those who haven't seen this deck, I'll just give it a quick shuffle offline just to see what comes out, because sometimes they're sort of trapped, I think. Okay, so yeah. Six of Cups. Hopefully they're the right way up. They've got a lot of that crow energy that's gorgeous. They're very sort of space agey. That's what I love about it, the chessboard there. I love all the sort of symbolism that's in this deck. I think it's absolutely amazing. And all the animals, you know, and it's got a lot of symbolism in it. Like you can see here the astrological symbols. You can see sort of that creature, the devil, Judgment. Highly recommended, beautiful size, you know, when the decks weren't getting too oracle sized. I like this, it's very easy to shuffle. Another outstanding Hanged Man. That didn't make it in my top 5, but I was looking at it for quite a while. I do love it. I love the whole idea of the way she's done the chessboards, and look at that strength. Endurance, fortitude. They do have words. The Chariot. I see a lot of synergies between this deck and the Serpent Fire Tarot. So I'm not going to mention, oh, you know, this for that, or but Serpent Fire I think is still around. And there is something about both decks that echo something of each other. And it's a mood or a feeling. It's nothing that's been taken directly, but some decks have a similar mood. And those two decks, this deck and that deck by Devani Wolf, if you can't get this deck, you sort of can sometimes on eBay, but they're very expensive, I think. The Serpent Fire is also, anyone in Australia is paying, you know, shipping costs that are exorbitant, so any of those indie decks cost, but sometimes you get a bit lucky on eBay and get them. So, and that's the Star. Just an outstanding deck. I absolutely love it. I do use it. I haven't edged it because it's got the white borders. So no edging from Angela on that deck. So I'll just put that back down. I think, well, why not get straight into the Rider-Waite-Smith. Okay, my out-of-print Rider-Waite-Smith, I have a lot. You'll melt when you see them, but I guess one of my favourites, jewel in the crown, is the Tariko Shobo, which is the J.K. Waite from Japan that everybody knows. I got this in the, I've got the whole kit with the box and everything, but it's in another area of the house, and I have to open up a Secret Squirrel box where I keep Secret Squirrel things, and I can't do that right now. Or I don't, you know, it's just going to take things too long. So these are the absolutely outstanding backs. I think these were the backs from the first printing. They're just a beautiful colour and a beautiful, it's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. I'm obsessed with Rider-Waite-Smith clones, to be honest. I've said it before, I don't believe there's, I love reading the RWS, and I don't mind, you know, I'm not sure people have come up with better imagery. They've come up with interesting imagery, but for reading tarot for other people, for actually reading, maybe I'll come in a bit more as well. I think this is the best deck ever created for sort of public reading, or that's not to say all the other decks that have been created aren't any good, of course. They're beautiful, but I love reading this. And look at that red sky, the Seven of Swords. I love this deck. This is an absolutely outstanding deck and was worth every cent. I had to pay for the deck. I mean, I have to pay for most decks. Some are swaps, but even in that, you've paid originally for the first one. But this wasn't cheap, and it came from Japan. But, you know, Japan, clean, easy, came very quickly. That's upside down. And I just love the vibrancy of it, and the cards are quite thin. Look, the cardstock isn't the greatest. It's not the worst either. I'll show you the worst. You've seen the worst in some of my other videos. But, I mean, look at that. The beautiful pink sky. I think the Japanese just have such a knack and just an understanding of the tarot and colour and design. And I'm glad there's two people on the horse rather than just the child. Naked, because they're honest, they're truth. There's nothing to hide. They're in Eden, I think, before the garden, before the fall. I think it's just, and what you know, what love can achieve. And the honesty of the sunflowers in the back. It's just gorgeous. Look at this. I hope these are, you know, nice and easy to see. I don't want, sometimes I watch my videos back on the, I watch them back on the TV screen, which is quite big, you know, over 40 inches. And, well, one of the screen, oh, well, the other one's even bigger, but I don't need any bigger. And I look at all the mistakes I do when I film. But anyway, so that's the J.K. Waite, and that was in the, I edged it as well. I've edged that. So it's in that sort of, I don't know what you call that, maroon, crimson. Just like the background here, I guess. I mean, this is more of a purple, but this is more of a maroon, a crimson-y colour. So I decided to do that. And I've done that with many decks that are very expensive and cost a lot of money, basically because it does protect the edges, I believe. And, you know, especially when they're white and they become sort of that ugly colour. I'm going to have another sip of my tea with my cat, my Russian blue cat on there. I love herbal tea. Okay. The next one is, again, I bought in the 80s when I only had, I always say I only had 1 or 2 decks, but I think I might have had 4 or 5. I don't remember, but I certainly didn't use that many. So Anyway, and they were, you know, you had to go into a shop and buy them, so they had to be available. Now they're available online. So, but this is I don't have the box or anything anymore. It's in a little pocket thing. This is US Games, the Renaissance Tarot deck by Brian Williams. What year? I've even got my maiden name there, so that's, everyone can see that. 1987 is when this was published. So I was very young, still school. And Brian Williams has, I think, done he's done a Minchiati deck and book. I haven't bought it yet, but his artwork is outstanding. I think his knowledge of tarot is fantastic. And this is just a classical deck. And again, a really nice size. They're the backs. And the backs have got two people entwined here. And if you read reversals, you'd probably have to learn what's what. I don't read reversals normally. I know that where the position is in a detriment, and I know where the card is got, you know, the card has, let's call it, upright reverse meanings. Well, they're all the meanings in my eyes. It just depends how they fall in a spread and what feeling I get from them, whether they're reversed or upright rather than physically reversed or upright. I like to look at them upright. Many people do. It's nothing new. There's the full, and you can see this is, I think, what was on the box. I think I threw away the box on the cover, and it's just an absolutely outstanding, beautiful, beautiful card. His penmanship is second to none. A lot like Robert Place, very distinctive. You can tell it's him with the drawings. And all the, I guess, people who follow artists and tarot creators that they like know. It is a pip deck, but again, with the pips, it's got little pictures on the corners and little messages on the top there in sort of different languages. I don't even know. It's US Games. It's not La Scarabeo, but it has got that sort of size and feel. And again, it's old and it's got the white borders, and I never even knew about edging. And look at that. That's the Four of Pentacles. And it goes through, you know, Greek myths. And again, it aligns the stories in the book. And I think there's a bigger book with this that I'm going to try and get off eBay, which probably goes into which exact myths they're talking about and who's abducting who. You know, Zeus did a lot of abductions, but that just doesn't look like him to me there. So that's another myth there. I used to love reading with this deck. And it has that medieval sort of quality. It's got classical, medieval, and again, the faces are abstracted. Yes, they're all sort of one type of suite, but they're abstracted. They don't look like anyone in particular. They sort of just look, you know, abstracted in a sense that they're not, you know, familiar. And I like that. I read easier when it's like that. Look at the colours in the King of Cups. That has to be one of my favourite King of Cups ever. Ever. I don't know if it's clearer on this side. I think that's Achilles and Hector. On the Nine of Swords, of course. It's a Nine of Swords for Hector because he's dragged around the arena because Achilles slew him. But that's just a beautiful, beautiful deck, and I could go on about that deck. And you can see it's quite old here. It had a bit of use. So that's there. Now the next one. Okay. Well, maybe the next one we do. Let's do Crowley. We'll do the Thoth, and which Thoth out of print. Technically, of course, Thoth is not out of print because you can get Thoth decks, but this is from the 80s, and this is the smaller edition, and this one has the 3 magicians in it. I haven't looked to find the 3 magicians, and you know the minute you look for something you never find it, so it's not going to happen. but they're the backs. They had changed the, you know, it was different to the ones without the white borders. But this is an older deck. I've had this for a long time. You can see again, it's there's the booklet in the middle. It's sort of used in US games. I mean, it probably does write a year on this again. If I read it, 1987. Again, that must have been the year. So I'll just see quickly if I can find the magicians to show you, because it's really the Magus actually in this deck. Let's see, because most of you have seen all these decks. There's Beautiful Devil. The Queen of Discs, one of my favourite ever all time. Maybe she's my favourite. I don't know. Yeah, let's have a look here and see. The quality of the deck is just superb. Okay, here's one magician. Yeah, they might be together here. So we've got this one that didn't make the cut from Lady Frida Harris. And we've got this one here that didn't make the cut. So that's another, one's called the Magician and this one's called the Magus. Beautiful universe card. And I'll just find the winner, let's call it. And these are, for me, a perfect size for use, although I do love the large ones. And I have many decks that are Thoth based, and we'll go into that in another video. There's the moon again. Superb, and that's a superb rendering of it. It's a bit clearer than some of the other ones I have. And just the pentacles in this deck are just, you know, usually they're not my favorite. Here he is, the Magus. And I think they picked the correct one. I think that's Hermes, and I think we can all identify with the magic, the trickery, the divine information that he holds, and the Hermeticism and that tradition with him, and the movement of him and the energy. It's just gorgeous artwork. This has to be one of the most beautiful decks ever created, if not the most beautiful. And there's some other ones there, and the Emperor in his all red and orange glory. So that's the older out of print Three Magicians deck. I think you can probably get something now. I don't know if you really can, but to me that's an out of print deck. The next one that I'd like, oh well, why don't I get to, if I'm in that era, you've all seen this before. This is another version of the Mythic Tarot I've got. A bit newer than my original one that's all worn out and battered and bruised and loved. This is the purple backs. And if I use this deck for others, I do tend, and I've edged this one. So I got this one unused off eBay. I've got another video to create on these decks, of course. And I'll give these a shuffle as well, just so we're just trying to find. You can hear me. Cardstock with this one is slightly better, but you know, I wouldn't call it fantastic. Queen of Swords in all her splendor. Five of Wands, and again, there is the new Mythic Tarot that's out with this deck, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, it just doesn't have anything on this deck. The line work, it looks like AI drew it. I'm not disrespecting, there's an artist's name on it, and he could be a great artist for all I know, I don't know, but it's nothing. The faces and the just the sophistication in this deck of the images and the beauty is missing. It just looks like cartoons. And maybe it's meant to look like, maybe people like cartoons, I don't. I like cartoons. I'm not saying I don't like cartoons, but it doesn't suit this deck. And just to, you know, I do have some, you know, Greek mythological decks, another video, that have got that cartoonish element, and I buy them because the books are really good, but I'm really disturbed by the images looking like, you know, cartoons. I don't love it. The Tower, Poseidon. I think a lot of you have seen this deck as well, but why not show it again? And again, the cardstock, and this, I think this one might be from the 90s. And they're around on eBay if you want to pay big dollars for them. I haven't really paid big dollars, you know, for my decks. I've had them at the time. Page of Swords. I used to hate getting that card. I always used to think it was really sort of not a nice card to get, but, and I still don't love the Page of Swords, but it means a lot of different things, so it doesn't mean just one thing. Yeah, and beautiful, beautiful Nine of Cups there. That's Aphrodite. I think with Eros and Psyche, that whole story comes through the cups. So that's that beautiful deck. That's one version of it that I have. Another version, yet another version. I'm not sure if you've seen the purple back ones and the ones I've edged. So I think now the next one may be, oh yes, okay, another sip of tea. Navigators of the Mystic Sea. Now, this is by Julia Turk, US Games, bought it out. I'm pretty sure it's out of print. I'm not sure that it's getting printed. And it's a Thoth deck, really, a Thoth-based deck. Again, there's a bigger book to this that I do want to buy and I do want to read, because I think that these are the gorgeous backs. Absolutely, the Tree of Life there with all that beautiful sort of, I don't know, it looks like watercolors in a cosmos or something. And I'll just give them a shuffle as well, and see how we go with them. I think that it's easier just to sometimes shuffle them. And okay, the sun, the most beautiful sun came out on top. Hopefully you can see these beautiful, beautiful cards. It is an amazing deck, and it goes through the whole, the imagery goes into that. It's Thoth based. It's a card, I think, that's referring to surreal images, the subconscious. I don't know how to explain it, and when you throw it, it does give a lot. It's probably my most favourite 10 decks, to be honest. Desperation, Nine of Swords. I mean, that's perfect. And I guess when people get readings from me, you know, I can choose these decks if you want to choose these decks, but I don't offer them directly because sometimes they're just too much for people, and some of the keywords people have taken off because, you know, people can't handle one word, and though you try to explain it, they get fixated sometimes when you're reading. So unless someone particularly says I want that deck, I use it just for myself. 10 of Wands, Oppression, and that's why I've trimmed the Thoth as well, for that reason, and use a trimmed Thoth, the Crowley Thoth. But I mean, look at these images, honestly. And the card quality is nice. Nice size again, not too big, easy to shuffle. And it's got a bit of give in it. So these are something that people can just sort of look at and get a lot out of, I think. And it's got a really good little white book that comes with it as well. And that's very handy, but, you know, a bigger book would also be something, I think, desirable with this. Destiny. Just the colours and the complete, you know, they talk about AI. I mean, these cards are amazing, and people's artwork, human artwork, can't be topped. Just can't be. This is coming out of someone's hand and eye and their vision. It's not coming out of some random computerized moment, which I don't like. And that's the same with the reading. You get a human to do your reading. That's what you're getting. The energy, the psychic energy of that person, and you, if you're the subject. But that's the most beautiful deck. And I'm very happy to have that deck. So that's another one that's out of print. Okay. Hopefully I'm getting through these and this won't take, I don't like the longer videos, but okay. So this is the Tarot of Paris. And I've got to say, I always forget who did this, but I think the Tarot de Paris you can find on eBay, and I think you can find it for a relatively good price. It is out of print and the book is outstanding. 9 of Matter. And I think it's the same people that publish Robert Placer's decks as well. St. Martin's Press or something did the book. I'll see if I've got it in the bookshelf. Because I've separated. It's got a big box, so I've taken it out. Yeah, the Tarot de Paris. J. Philip Thomas. Yeah, there it is. And it's got a fantastic book that comes with it. Really comprehensive and really helps you if you're a tarot reader. I think he's really helpful. And it goes through all the monuments of Paris. And I think for its time when it was done, I think it was done in the 90s, it was very, you know, progressive, because, you know, there's images superimposed on sort of ghostly backgrounds, and it has a feeling and it has a very authentic vibe. And I'll just look and see if there is a date. Yeah, St. Martin's Press, yeah. And the date... I don't know if it's 1988 or 2002. Maybe this is a second edition, or maybe it's just he got the patent to the cards then. It's not that clear, but it's a great little deck. And I think on my Instagram I've used I think one of the Hermit as one of my favorite cards that he does, but of course it's not going to turn up here. There's Napoleon as the King of Air. I mean, what else would he be? Maybe we need to... And there's Caduce there, the King of Water. I mean, if you've been to Paris, you're probably thinking, oh my God, did I see all these things? But they're everywhere. I mean, it's the most beautiful city in terms of the creation of it, and how much work's gone into it over the centuries, and how beautiful it is. And these are all the monuments, and an ode to the monuments that it's taken from, like the pyramids with the Louvre and everything that they've used, and the neoclassicism and all the Greek art. And all their famous philosophers, and the French Enlightenment and the Age of Reason, the sculptors and the artists and everything that's spawned from its beautiful and egalitarian heart, I guess. And it's a great reader, the Veil. So that's a High Priestess. A lot of them are renamed. Initiation, which is the full. The Sphinx, which is the Fortune. Presence, which could be its strength here. So he goes with the French tradition there of putting that as the 11 card. And the Hanged Man. So I won't go on too much. As I said, I've got to go through them. But this is a great deck. It is out of print. And I'm not showing decks I've shown recently. I won't go again through. I think I just showed the Vampire Tarot from Robert M. Place, and I'm sure St. Martin's Press did that because I showed it in the last video. So if you want to have a look, that is out of print. It's in the last video. I don't want to sort of start repeating and showing a lot of things that I've shown before. I know I've shown the Mythic Tarot, but I've got a soft spot for the Mythic Tarot. You know, but, and again, the Tarot of Meditation, the Jaeger Tarot, we're nearly getting there now, of what I've chosen. This is again out of print, and I'm not sure if this could get back into print because I'm sure everyone would complain about it, but it's a great deck. The cardstock, it's US Games, it's complete with instructions, and it's Marty Jaeger. There's the book, and that's again from the mid-70s. Oops. And these are the backs. And again, you know, I only use this with people that have humour and can understand the humour of it. I'll just give them a bit of a shuffle and then show you a few. And of course, one popped out, so let's see what it is. Yeah, okay. The Knight of Wands. There he is in all his campy glory. Look, he's gorgeous. Isn't he just gorgeous? In his budgie smugglers, as we say in Australia. I'll let you think about that if you don't get it. But yeah, so let me just do a shuffle, and then let's see what comes out. So yeah, it's a pip deck. That's the fire, and the pips are gorgeous. You know, they look very sort of retro, and it's a retro deck. The Queen of Wands, she's got the flowers, she's got a chair, she's half naked. But, you know, people were half naked on the beach. I mean, you don't see it that much these days, but in the 80s everyone was. And I was, you know, it's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. It was just not a big deal. The Sun. There he is again. The Magician. And it has that, you know, it has the extra cards that I love, that explains things. It doesn't sort of, it's campy, it's gender fluid, I love that Hanged Man. That's more a Christ-like one, you know, with the sacrifice with the Hanged Man, because it does mean a lot of things. And you can see the date clearly there, 1975. Which we don't like the dates, but at least then we can date the cards. But, you know, it's a pip deck. A Chariot. Gorgeous Chariot, and gorgeous faces again, you know, within the frame of the lens of the era, and the font is, you know, that sort of campy font. You can get this on, I think, eBay. I think you do have to pay money for it if people are selling it. It's not that easy to find, but It's a great little deck. I love the backs. I'm not sure what you're meditating on. There's more budgie smugglers. Oh dear, with the boots and the bangle and oh god, and the full and the firecrackers. 10 of Wands. That's death there. But yeah, I mean, if you do want a deck like that, I haven't edged this one because it's white and it's just too challenging, I think. I'll get the bleeding and I don't want that. Yeah, if you do want it, you can sort of try and get it. I don't think they'll reprint it, I'm not sure, unless someone does an indie sort of version of it. Okay, what's another? Okay, well, we might as well do A Piccini. This is another Italian deck. I could show the Alitalia one again, but I've got another video with that in it, so I thought I'd leave that. Otherwise, I'll be here. I've got a lot of out of print decks, and I don't want to do a 2-hour show, and I don't want to do part 1 and part 2. I'll do other type of shows where I showcase them in different sort of context. And this is a beautiful, beautiful deck, again from the 70s. And the shows of the artist and the beautiful book that it comes with. And this is just an amazing deck. Okay, these are the backs. And they're quite big. This is a big sort of deck. If I get a normal sort of tarot size deck, I don't know which one. Maybe I'll show you with the Crow's Magic, because that's a sort of, it is slightly smaller, but, and it's square. And it's amazing. The images are amazing. The feel is amazing. Yes, it's in Italian, but you know, we all understand the cards and the words, really. I mean, if you don't, you've got the numbers on the cards. It's sort of abstract, but with people in it. That's Temperance. The Devil looks like a clock. That's another story. Yeah. The Tower. That's Christ on the cross. It's a fascinating deck. Highly recommended if you can get your hands on it. I love it. The Sun. The World. I'll just see what else is coming up. Just the colours, and you know, I think the Italians have just such a progressive eye in terms of the tarot and how they represent it and what's going on with it. And the Alitalia one gives me the same feeling as this one. This one's a little bit different. And I think it pairs nicely with many oracles and many other decks, actually. And with the red on it, it would I think it would go with a lot of the red bordered decks, such as the Goddess of Love Tarot. It's a nice little pairing. I'm not going to do it now because it's just too much, but you get the idea. And again, this one I haven't edged, although I will edge in red. I just haven't gotten around to it. The square ones I are a bit of a challenge sometimes, but I will do it obviously in a beautiful red, in just a pure red colour. I just haven't gotten around to it because, you know, we've all got a million projects, and that's just another project. And so it goes, you know, I love the way they've done this little sort of that you put it away like that in the deck, in the box, and you just put it away. So that's A Puccini. It's made in Italy. Again, early 70s, beautiful deck. So I think I've got only a couple more. Now, if you do want me to do more, I can do a whole another hour, but I'm really going to stop. I don't want to go on too long. Now, I don't know how many people have got the Golden Dawn Tarot, to be honest. This is the next one, but I think it's out of print, and it's by Robert Wang and US Games. It's weird. I don't love it. I've been thinking of selling it, but I don't. But I think it's out of print. I think it was, again, this one's one from the 80s. I've had this since the 80s. Maybe 1978. I've had it. I got it in the 80s. It's a pip deck again with little images, and there's Andromeda and Perseus, I think. It's sort of got a naive art quality to it. I don't know what to make of it, really. But there are some cards, I like the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, that I really like. And I used to read with it. It's actually quite battered. And it's got the Golden Dawn colour scales, and it all relates to that. But the pips are a little bit scarce. Beautiful High Priestess. This is probably, that High Priestess is one of the reasons I won't give the deck up. And the Universe, I think it's a great card. But it goes from that to, okay, this pip, but yeah. But it's got that good card. Oh, they're the backs. And that's got the, you know, the Tree of Life and the Rose and all the stuff that we know about with the Thoth decks and the Golden Dawn. But I'll just go through it a little bit quicker. I'll see if I can find some of the ones I like. I do like the Hierophant in this deck. I think it's a gorgeous Hierophant. It's got an exotic, ancient quality, and would pair nicely with oracles with ancient symbols as well, I think, if you're doing that. I think the Ascendant Oracle Nova, thank you for publishing that. I had never even seen it. I'm getting it. I think that would go well with this as well. I love watching pairings, actually. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they are, you know, they take time to, you know, I don't know how many. I can't do them here, but I love watching when people pair. So, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, so that's that deck. I don't know why I'm spending so long on it. But it has got a mesmerizing quality. I don't know what to make of the deck. You can say what you want, but I don't know what to make of that deck. And what's another one I've got here? Okay, oh yes, I've got it. Yeah, the last one. Okay, this is the second last one, I think. So here we've got the Leonardo Tarot, the Leonardo da Vinci. What's it called? Again, the book's separate from it, but it's called, here it is right on top. That's interesting. The gods, the tarot gods are on my side. The Da Vinci Enigma Tarot. Brilliant book. Nice big writing. And it is a great deck. I think it's out of print. And I'm not sure that you can get this new. I'll give it a bit of a shuffle, and we'll go from there. It's beautiful backs. Nice card quality, not too big. I did edge this one. This one is, I don't know how old it is, actually. Let me have a look. Caitlin Matthews wrote this amazing book. Simon and Schuster, who did the original Mythic Tarot as well. First published in Australia in 2005 by Simon and Schuster. So that's what I love, that they're published here, hopefully in Port Melbourne, where there's the Oxford University Press was there. But anyway, that's another issue. You know, we like things that are, because it brings the price down. Well, it used to, I don't know now, but his drawings are just beautiful, and that's the Lovers, which is the twins, the six, but you know, the Lovers can mean many things, and one of the best worlds ever. Let's just make that a bit bigger because these cards are smaller. And he does change the name of the cards. That's Deluge, which is obviously the 16, which is the Tower. The Way Shower, that's the Star. High Priestess. I mean, his intellect and his eye and his ability to draw, you know. All AI can do is copy this. He couldn't invent what he saw. Yeah, I'm going to go on about it in my videos. If someone's got something to say that's pro AI, feel free. But you know, I'm always open-minded. But you know, art to me is one of the most human forms of expression. And if we take our humanness away from that, I don't know what's going to be left of us, honestly. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. For me, really difficult to read with because it's got a sort of system of its own. But look at that. And I don't think the video is doing it any justice. You can't see the delicacy and the detail in the drawings and in the faces. And I mean, sketching's such an art. I'll show a few more. Look at this. And I might finish with the Lady of the Earth. It's just worth to have, just to have the drawings like presented in this beautiful sort of deck. But it's a very intellectual and smart deck, and it's a beautiful deck to work with. And I think it's worth keeping and studying. And I think I'm going to end now. The final deck, I've shown this in another video as well, but I'm going to have to show it because the Kazanla Tarot is brilliant. I'm still trying to get my hands on the bigger book rather than the little white book it's got, which is quite comprehensive. I'm not saying it's a great little deck. It's from the 90s. The white book I don't keep in the box because it's sort of, it's right on. The quality is not that great in this deck. Like, it's sort of flimsy. It's nice size. The backs are beautiful. I've edged it in a sort of bronzy color that matches. There's a bronziness in here and there's a bronziness. I've got this this one. It is out of print from US Games. It is out of print in terms of if you want to buy it mass market, which it was a mass market deck. But the family in, I think they're in Bulgaria. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm not wrong. But the family do sell it online. But I think it's like something like 50 euros just to ship it to Australia. And that's a lot. And the borders are different. The modern deck has black borders. I prefer this version of the deck with the gold. I think it suits the themes and the themes of being a economical deck. It takes from religions and mythologies, so the 4 main religions or 5 main religions or however you see it: Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, ancient Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, Sufism, and all sorts of variations, mystic Christianity. And it's got the Tree of Life in it. It's got the astrological symbols in it. What hasn't it got in it? Tsippereth, beauty. You know, it's got the elements in it as well. It's also got the playing cards in it. Sorry, why have I done that now? I'm doing it badly, aren't I? Wow, it's very delicate today. And numerological, it's got numbers on it. It's just outstanding. I'm trying to get close because the cards are small, and I really think you need to get close to them to understand what you're looking at. And as I've mentioned before in my other, a lot of people would have this in their collections and want to show it off. I mean, this is unapologetic show off, totally. It's very expensive to buy. I'm not showing my Greenie Thoth. I'm not showing the obvious ones. I'm not showing my Blue Blocks Rider-Waite. I've got decks worth more than what I'm showing today. I'm just showing ones I haven't shown a lot of, and that the others I'll showcase in other presentations. So I'll keep those a little bit, keep a little something behind. That's the Star. And what a beautiful deck this is, and how learned and studied was Cancelar. It's just stunning. I'd love to see the quality of the new one, whether the cardstock is a little bit thicker, but I don't really like thick cardstock because I can't shuffle it. And even though I've got these decks as a collector, I use every single deck. I will make sure I use them. So I shuffle them, I use them, I edge them, they're mine. So, and that's that. And like, I'm not showing my Barbie deck again because I've shown it 2 times. The one I've got, the vintage one, is out of print. So if you do want to see that one, go on to one of the other videos that I've got up and watch that. But this, okay, that was the second last one. Okay, I can't not show you. I think this is on my Instagram as well. I can't not show you the Bacchus Tarot, which is the Flemish Tarot, the Van den Wall. The book's great. It's again US Games, and they've done it on that beautiful, there he is. Hopefully he'll come out. So he replaced the Pope, and that's got a lot of stuff, and it's just gorgeous. Look at this. So this is the Marcier deck, really. They're the gorgeous decks. It's a beautiful sort of old world deck that's woodblock style, and the paper is got a nice quality to it. It doesn't feel like it's going to, there's the world. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart or anything like that. And it's just fantastic. And that was I mean, if I'm trying to find the Bacchus in this now, it might take a while. But look at the beauty of this deck. And Marcier decks are, for me, just stunning and beautiful. I don't read with them often. I can read with them. I don't think they're my specialty, but I've still got time, and I may investigate that further as we go. But I think this is a beautiful version of this deck. And let's see if we can find Bacchus. We probably can't. Look at the faces. Look at that. And there it is there on the Two of Pentacles. As with most of the classic Marcier decks, they'll tell you who the maker is or the printer. And then they also introduce the cards like that. Of course, now that I want to find him, I can't find him. I don't know where I've put him. Because I took a photo of, oh, there he is. So there's our Bacchus. So the Pope, the Pope was replaced by the God of, and I'm wearing an amethyst today, okay? I'm wearing an amethyst, and that means in Greek to not be drunk, to not have the ability to be drunk, and it's the stone of Dionysus, Bacchus. And my father gave me that stone, and his name was Dionysus, because it is still used in Greece. It's very popular, especially on the Ionian Islands, where they still use a lot of the pagan names. And they didn't stop that. And there's saints as well with those names. And he gave me this ring when I was about 16 or 17. Him and my mother travelled. I had travelled overseas to Asia, and he came back just with the stone, and then we set it. And he said to always keep it, but he never explained it was the stone of Dionysus and Bacchus. And I know he would have known that because he was a well-learned and educated person. And I looked it up in later years and sort of brought it up with him, and he smiled and laughed. And as with everything, he tried to get me to work things out myself. And I wore it today because I was thinking about this deck, which I thought I'd forgotten to bring out, but it was underneath. And he would have just loved, if he was alive, he would have loved to have seen Bacchus there on the barrel, drinking his wine and making a commentary on let's say, the Pope. We will say no more. We don't want to offend anybody, but it's got humour, it's progressive, and that's my beautiful gemstone there. And he is probably my favourite god, of course, with Dad. So, and look at that. And of course, that's not, for me, that's not to be edged because it's so papery that it would bleed and go everywhere. You wouldn't even try to edge that. You always have to know the decks you can edge. And that's what I have for you today from Australia. I hope the video was great. Please feel free to comment and tell me anything you like. As long as it's sort of respectful and polite, but I don't mind if you think that I've done something in error, or sometimes you do and you look back and say, what did I say? I didn't say Golden Dawn, I said something else, but I meant Golden Dawn. But you know, you're doing a video and you're talking a lot and your throat gets dry like mine is now. But anyway, I won't go on and on. Thank you for your time today, and I will see you next time.